So I'm paying a visit to G's Vintage Fan Shed. So we have a Harbor Breeze breezeway. Now over here is a Kodep. It's rusted, but it works.
Blades that on the Evergo we just destroyed were from that.
You got a Harbor Breeze Builder's Best, one of the old school ones, honestly. These were good for home center fans. They're not my favorite, but they definitely had some nice finish options to them. I'll give them credit for that. And your typical Huntington 3 is with no blade sag, which is great.
Actually, the blades aren't sagging. I just flipped it over.
Now we got a Harbor Breeze Mayfield. I will admit this, because normally I don't admit these. For a newer hugger from Harbor Breeze, these aren't terrible. They're definitely better than the other shit they have out today. The Armitage 2, the 42-inch ones, aren't terrible either. I do like the generic look that they have, but you remove the bowl on these and you actually have a pretty decent looking fan. I will full-heartedly admit that. And then now we have our Harbor Breeze Aristocrat. For what these were back in the day, they were all right.
For those having 172s, I'll give them credit, though they are very brittle for like no reason at all.
But, you know, this is your typical 90s, early 2000s fan that if you had the ornate option, this was pretty much one of the higher end ornate options that they had, besides the New Orleans Classic and the New Orleans 5. So for what they are, they're not bad. Would I pick one up? Probably not. But I have installed one of these to replace a footprint vent before. So now this thing here with the brown.
I actually don't know what that is. It's ventless. The blade irons aren't original. Here, I can turn it off if you want. The blade irons are not original. Pretty much how you see it is how it came, minus the light kit. It's no longer out here. It was originally on the Evergo, but it had a 4 light on it, and it only had 3 light shades with it.
No telling what this is, but if I had to guess,
there is a model number on it.
If I had to guess, I would probably say Evergo, maybe. But
actually, I forgot. I seen one on Marketplace like a long ass time ago. I think these are Envirofan.
I mean, they could be, but who knows?
It's either that or one of those other ones. I forget. Yeah, Envirofan.
So these aren't bad looking fans. I like the look of it. 42-inch generic GE vent.
It also definitely has the landlord special on it, on the canopy.
Stencil blades. The brown blade arms, they work, but you know, they're not antique brass, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna find me a set of antique brass ones to put on it.
But the stencil almost reminds me of Evergo. So I'm leaning towards Evergo, but who knows?
If anything, I can look it up and go inside.
All right, stay tuned. So now we're gonna be doing part 2 here. So in this living room, we have a 52-inch antique brass Craftmade CXL. This thing is actually pretty gorgeous, made with a custom light kit.
Extra guest, Kitty.
Say hello to the cat. But yes, this thing is gorgeous. I have a CXL literally in this finish, but I put a set of 44-inch blades on it in the video, as well as 52. Now here we have probably one of the biggest childhood fans I've known to love growing up. This is a SMC U52. This exact variation of U52 down to the light kit is one of the biggest childhood fans I've ever seen. My great uncle had one in his house exactly like this. I think the only difference is he had beveled shades on his and not this light. I had this light kit, but like beveled shades.
I know exactly which light you're thinking of too.
But his fan was one of my favorite fans, and I have this fan here alongside its 42-inch brother. So I'm pretty happy to see one of these again.
There is actually a backstory behind this fan too, actually. This fan is an exact replica of what when we bought the house, the original fan in here was identical. The only difference was the bulbs, like the light bulbs.
And I really, like I said, really like U52s. They're genuinely good fans for what they are, especially the ones with the brown UFO motors, as you can see them here.
I have a new box black motor one upstairs.
And for you portable fan collectors, that's actually pretty cool.
That actually works too. I can boot that up if you want.
And in here, we have a 52-inch antique white Gulf Coast Dixie Belle. By far, one of my favorite fans of all time.
I call it the Tyler fan.
Yes, because I have a slew of these fans. My goal eventually is to get every finish of the Gulf Coast Dixie Belle. I've got about, I'd say probably at least 5 or 6 of the finishes now, out of like 9 or 10 that was offered, not including the rare finishes. But I'd love to find me one in red or one of the gloss black. That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, I feel like, well, no, because there's some, I think they're the Quorum Classic ones, the ones that the motor housing, the opening is too big for the motor.
Yeah.
There's some that they were originally, they were white fans, and is what, they're in a local Foster Fuels, and they took like Cardinal Burb red spray paint and painted the entire fucking thing. So like, it looks just like that, just it's a Quorum one with the regular generic brackets, and it's spray painted red. Because if you look inside of the housing, one little loop on the motor is actually white.
Okay.
Start this up if you want.
Now, we're going to continue into the kitchen. So in the kitchen, we have this beautiful Gulf Coast Orleans. I can't remember the actual model name.
It's the Gulf Coast New Orleans too.
New Orleans 2.
Yeah.
This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Like, if I ever got another lighted housing fan that wasn't like the Walmart one, this would probably be one of them I would consider getting. These things are, it's basically your lighted housing version of the Dixie Belle, and to an extent.
The only difference on these is pretty much just the faceplate, the light, and these have 172s.
Yep. But, and these are not actually fairly common fans, believe it or not.
They were only offered for like a year, weren't they?
It's like 2 or 3 years in the 1990s. I'd have to actually...
This one is from 95.
I'd actually have to check, because I think they came in brass, and I think they also came in white.
Yes, they did.
So, but it's definitely, it's got high gloss, looks like oak.
I can turn it off if you want, so you can see. The other side just looks hideous on the blades.
Looks like high gloss, like, it almost looks like high gloss walnut, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then here's the top of it. If you want to get a shot of that, it's the top side of the blades.
Yeah.
It's just hideous. When I got it, that top finish was actually black.
And then we got another fan in here,
Which is not the mudroom.
which is a mudroom, but it's like one of these, you said it was Walmart?
That is Heritage made. It was sold under the Home Essentials brand.
So this is a Kmart.
Yeah, this is Kmart.
This is actually fairly decent for a Kmart fan, believe it or not. So, I mean, it's cool. They're cool looking, I will admit that. And they're pretty childhood for the most part.
There is also a backstory behind that, too. Behind that one. My great grandmother liked that fan, and I think they said they bought it for like $45 when it was brand new in 2004 at Kmart, and it replaced some 4-blade hugger in the kitchen. And believe it or not, I've actually gotten word the hugger that replaced it is still around and still working.
So, I mean, like I said, these things were pretty cool. I think they might have been cheaper than that new. I think they may have been like $30, but
Yeah, something like that.
somewhere around these lines. But still, for a cheap Kmart fan, these are not bad, especially for a smaller space. growing up, like where I grew up, you kind of just, cheap fans like this were common. And honestly, I got a soft spot for them, to be honest with you. So,
that
but yeah.
one there actually isn't even in the greatest shape. Actually, the top side of the blades have turned brown because the owner who bought my grandparents' house did not clean very well, and the mix of, I think it's cigarette smoke and kitchen grease, because that was to above and ever so faintly to the right of the stove.
That would be definitely kitchen grease and probably cigarette smoke. But yeah, that sounds sounds about right.
The blades have went from that white, the same white as the motor housing. Now they're like a beige color.
Ugh.
Even after scrubbing the shit out of both sides.
That's definitely cigarette stain. And part 3 will be coming up soon. So, part 3. Down here in this basement, we have a 52-inch 4-speed Emerson 1895. These things are pretty cool fans. It's in the brown finish with stencil blades. Very cool looking. Over here, we have the 42-inch 1895 series. It's also in the brown finish with stencil blades. Honestly, these things are really cool. I like the 42-inch ones slightly better than these ones, but I have seen plenty of this size over the years, especially in some Cracker Barrel restaurants. Now, in fact, Cracker Barrel, some of their locations did have these fans, especially the ones that were built in the 1980s. A lot of them have been replaced with newer Craftmates, but to see one of these in a Cracker Barrel is a nice treat, and I will say that. Still love this thing. 42-inch 1895, these things are badass. I can't even say anything.
There's actually a backstory behind that 42-inch one. That 42-inch one came out of a local hardware store called English's Hardware, or English Home Improvement, something like that. Well, they went under to a new company called Caps Home Improvement, and none of y'all realized the fight I put up to get that Emerson right there. I actually have that Emerson and the one that was next to it, which was not the 52-inch one. In the store there was that one, and then there was another Emerson, which I'll proceed to show when we get closer to it.
But these are famous Hampton fans because he actually enjoys these things. So Hampton, shout out to you. You are mentioned in this video, but yeah, these are pretty cool.
Definitely gonna have to tag in the YouTube video.
All right, continue on. So here we have a Litex Vortex Rainbow ceiling fan. These things are a huge childhood to me, especially given the fact that I've seen this version as well as the Walmart Home Trends version and all the other ones over the years. If you lived in a trailer park like I did growing up, like I was previously mentioning, these are common, especially in kids' bedrooms. You always see these in trailer parks.
Funny story, this was actually taken down from a kid's bedroom in a single wide trailer, built
Facts.
in 1989.
Facts. You'll definitely see these in 80s trailer homes. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Commonly also seen halfway hanging out of the ceiling, because we just love the trailer park electrical boxes.
Yeah, trailer park electrical boxes are ass. I will admit that. So over here we have a Palmer Hugger. I've got something very similar, but it is 5 blades. The only difference I think mine is compared to yours is the fact that it is 5 blades and it's
noisy as hell.
I haven't tested mine, but mine seems like it may make bearing noise, if anything, but
mine, I think, has bearing noise. I can cut it off and spin it to see, but if anything, I'll do it after the video.
yeah. But it's a cool looking fan.
That one there came from an ex-girlfriend. They were going to throw it away, and I said, no, you're not.
Now, right here, I gotta catch my balance, but we're good. Right here, we have a Casablanca 4 Seasons 2 or 3.
3, I believe.
I think this is the 3 because the 2 had the hang true, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the second generation's ones have the hang true.
This is definitely a later Casablanca. These ones are made by Halsey. Nothing too special about these, but you do see a lot of these, especially if you see Casablancas in the wild. Chances are you probably see these because these were pretty popular, especially in white.
They were like the budget craft made, or not craft made, Castle Man. Also, Kitty in part 3.
Say hello to the kitty. But yes, these you would see. I've seen the white ones a few times in the wild, most certainly, and I've also seen them in brushed nickel and black, and I think the washed bronze finish.
Brushed nickel one of those?
I've seen these those Four Seasons 3 in brushed nickel.
I did not know that. There's also a second thing about that. Notice the blades, the round tip.
Oh shit! I didn't even notice that.
Those are low profile blades, actually.
It looks good with the round tip blades. You wouldn't.
The original ones are like faded to the point the oak is damn near yellow, and they're starting to sag. So I put the low profile blades on it.
It looks good with
I do
them.
not have the motor to those blades, so that's why they are on there.
And then here we have a 36-inch JCPenney spinner.
CEI manufacturer.
CEI made JCPenney spinner. Childhood. Another childhood fan. Gotta love cheap trailer park spinners. It's definitely a big piece of my childhood, and I'm glad to see another one. I have something kind of similar and then kind of not, but it's an EnviroTemp, which is a Lowe's house brand, which is a rebadged Evergo. So there's a tidbit of interesting information about that. But
that one there came out of like a suburban home. That was the only original fan left in the house. That was built, I forget what the date code is on that. I think it's like 90 or 92. The house was built and fully completed in 89, and I think the fan was put in shortly after. When I got it, some old lady paid me like $100 to replace it.
sorry. But it's cool. It's definitely a cool fan. I like the look of them.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But we'll keep continuing on. So yeah, there's the rainbow fan again.
Also, from mentioned earlier, here's the 42-inch Northwind.
Yeah, that 42-inch Northwind is really
That was
awesome.
directly next to the 1895 in that hardware store.
Now here we have a Harbor Breeze. I don't exactly remember the model name.
Like a Lancaster or something.
Something like that. But this is basically like the Kmart Alaska fan relabel, just slapped with a Harbor Breeze label. This is Alaska made.
It does have the Alaska motor. It goes low, medium, high. The only difference that these had from the Alaska, the Kmart sold ones, was the only difference is they put different shades on these, and they put Harbor Breeze pull chains on it.
And
which I do have the originals.
These did come in 4 and 5 blade, which I have seen the 4 blade ones as well. So, and then last but not least down here is a Harbor Breeze Mayfield. Same thing I said about the outside one. They're not bad for what they are. If they got rid of the bowl light kit and just did a different light kit option, these would sell a lot better than what they do. But they are made today, and they run you about $100, which is insane for a 42-inch hugger.
Actually,
44-inch hugger.
Yeah.
But still, they're not, like I said, they're not bad looking, but I think if they made like one in brass, this would look good with a bowl light kit. But
it would look really unique if they did a full, like one with like a turtle fitter and antique brass.
yes.
That would look really good on those.
All right, and this is part 3. Now part, did I say 3?
4.
4. It's part 4. So here, this fan is kind of famous, as this is actually Cody's old fan. So this is I think, Encon
Art Deco.
Encon Art Deco.
It is from February of 1990.
This is Encon's Saturn knockoff. Honestly, it's pretty gorgeous, to be honest with you.
That is a very clean fan.
And then right here, we have everybody's favorite Harbor Breeze White Star.
Also, Ed Caldwell is correct on this. You'll see here in a minute. all white stars wobble.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't seen one that wobbles.
That doesn't wobble.
Yeah.
It gets worse as it spins up. There it goes.
Yep, there it goes.
You also look at the mounting, see where the ceiling joist is like barely clinging onto it.
It's having the death wobble of its lifetime.
Yeah.
Now in here, got everybody's favorite. One of mine too. Fasco Parlor Fan. Honestly, these things are cool. One of my favorite Fascos. It's not my ultimate favorite one, but Charleston obviously is going to be my ultimate favorite besides the Vanity Fair, but this is up there with them.
The 5-blade Charleston and the Decorator in like that baby blue color are by far my favorite Fascos. That and the I know this is probably a stupid one to list, but the Gulfstream, the 42 not the 42-inch one, the 4-blade ones.
The 42-inch 4-blade ones are actually pretty decent.
I didn't even know they made those in 42-inch.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I had one for a little while. And then here, I think this is a Harbor Breeze Summit?
Summit, yeah.
Summit 2 or Summit 1? I don't.
First generation Summit.
First generation Summit.
From 97.
I remember these. It's been years since I've seen one in person, but I do remember these. This was basically Harbor Breeze's answer to the Jericho. From this time, the only difference is the blades were white and bleached oak compared to white and rosewood. I think if they went with a rosewood option for this fan, it would be spot on to the job.
I would definitely take away that fucking bleached oak for a rosewood.
Yeah, I don't think bleached oak goes good with polished brass unless it's like...
Yeah, like I've been...
Unless it's not something like this. If it's like full-on polished brass, not lighted housing polished brass, I think bleached oak would be fine.
Yeah.
But with this, they could have done white and rosewood, or hell, even white and oak would have been fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember these. They're not fairly common, but I do remember them in the full out Harbor Breeze catalog.
There's also the fans on the floor too, if you want to show those. There's a whole bunch of them.
I just got a couple. I'm gonna say Alaska.
A Litex Telluride.
And
New Orleans 2 or 3. It's one of those.
I think it's a 2.
Yeah.
Sears had their own version called the Fenwick.
Yeah.
Which
There's
is...
a Sears Roebuck GE then.
But yeah.
Which the blades are in the other bedroom over there.
But that's pretty much everything I've got for this one. I'll just kind of show off these fans one last time. And then the White Star here. That Encon Art Deco is really cool looking.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 90s generic builder fan, I just like the look of it.
They do fucking fly though. These things are powerhouses for having a 153 in them. Show that off.
So it's probably just like a decorative then, in terms of performance.
Yeah, it's literally just a craft-made decorative with little rings on it.
Which Craftmate did have their own decorative, or with the rings on it.
Yeah.
Saturn knockoff. I don't know why I said the rings on it. But yeah. But yeah, Craftmate did have a Saturn knockoff called the High Tech, which is basically a CXL dressed up as a Saturn, is basically what it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. There you folks have it. I've been visiting and picking up fans for Fanimation from G's Vintage Fan Shack and Shed, or G's Vintage Fan Shed.
Yeah.
This is Ginger Fan Studios. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Y'all have a wonderful day and take care.